Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Adventures in Arcane Space. Had a few technical difficulties, but everything is up now. So, how is everyone doing today?
Tired.
Tired.
Yep, tired.
We're here.
That seems to be a thing. All right, well, let's go ahead and get our introductions in order.
Hi, I'm Lance Corporal Higgimus, and I play a Giff fighter.
Okay.
I'm David. I play Braxon, a human fighter.
I'm Levalithana, and I play a wild mage, elven wild mage.
I play Yeldan Sharpeye, a elven ranger.
I'm James. I'm playing Ockar, human paladin, and I'm eating a chicken sandwich.
Hi, I'm Lafdul. He's drinking coffee, and he's playing a mischiefmaker specialty. Oh God, mischiefmaker rogue. Damn it!
Thief.
Priest.
You've had such a
hard.
string
It's
of
not
doing
like
it. See,
a
this is what
single
happens when you
class.
get 3 hours sleep.
I've always struggled with it, though, regardless.
No,
Don't you know sleep is for the weak?
you've done a pretty good job the last few times.
Not that people will know what a specialty priest is, anyway.
Any second edition people should know.
How many of them are there?
Hopefully lots of them. All right. Well, so where we left off last time, you guys had just slaughtered a group of asteroid spiders that attacked the ship after you got stuck in the webbing.
Say that like there's something wrong with it.
We don't slaughter, we battle and we fight and we win.
Yeah,
we were victorious.
You pretty much slaughtered. You pretty much slaughtered.
We lucked out with a paralyzing poison not affecting multiple people.
So a big part of that was I was expecting them to hit more often. Like Braxon and Nogrish are the only ones who got hit, basically.
There's a reason why I made my new armor, even if it is kind of crappy in some ways.
We only commit slaughter when we make alliances with people in Browse Underdark.
And then it turns out later that they're actually evil, so it's perfectly fine to genocide a race.
I don't think any of them actually attacked me.
That could be. Yeah, they were coming in a little bit too slow for them to really
To be effective.
to be as effective as I had hoped. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, if you had like three or four drop down all at once, it would have been a hell of a different story.
Yeah, the problem is that they were basically all over the webs at different points, so it was, they had to come in slower as they made their way to your ship. Anyway, Nogrish was paralyzed, so when he... you guys were you'd released the ship and landed on the asteroid. Is that, if I remember
Excellent.
correctly? Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we
Safe
were
distance
waiting
away
for
from the hull.
And we were waiting for Nogrish to get unparalyzed.
Okay.
As people cut up spider bodies for parts.
All right, so when Nogrish finally regains control of his body, he says to you, whoever's nearby, I apologize for being unable to assist you. Those creatures were most certainly not there last time I was here, although that was many years ago.
Think nothing of it. Although next time, maybe stand back a little bit further. I would hate for our charge to be killed while under our protection.
Yes, I understand that, but I would hate to have any of you sacrifice yourselves in a place where I am unwilling to go.
Please,
I did hire you,
Perhaps.
after all.
just try to hang back and let us deal with the danger. We don't want you getting killed.
It's bad for business, you see.
But perhaps we should be.
Go ahead.
Perhaps we should be a bit cautious about this cave.
Well, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, could you tell us what you expect to be in the cave? or what was in there last time?
Well, I'm meeting with a fall. Are you familiar with them?
I'm
Would
not.
I be?
Braxon?
Is Leva familiar with them? Maybe.
I'm not sure if Braxon would have heard of Foal. I know what one is.
Well, the Falma Duratha are one of the sages of wild space, as they say. It is a peaceful creature. That is what I expect to find in there. I suppose if there are these asteroid spiders out here, it may have suffered some sort of harm, but they can usually defend themselves if need be, although they are not particularly violent.
Okay.
Wouldn't Leva have heard of them?
Not necessarily. You can make an intelligence
I think
check.
if from the sounds of it, they're limited to wild
Intelligence.
space.
Yep.
Yeah, make her roll her best stat. Why don't you?
It's going to be with a penalty, though. And she rolled a 20. No,
Oh
you've
my
never heard
god!
Of one. You've never heard of one.
Okay. What a pity. See, that's the 20. I'm now going to lose next fight.
Braxon, you've heard of Sages of Wild Space, but you don't really know much about them.
I'm not even gonna roll because I'm not from this sphere at all. So
Yeah.
Braxon.
My character's from this sphere.
Braxon, do you know
Yeah.
anything about the spires we just fought?
No.
I'll turn towards what was his name?
Nogrish?
Nogrish. How about you? Do you know anything about those spider things or crab things? I don't know what they were.
They're called asteroid spiders, although as you saw, there are some distinct differences.
yeah, they're not quite spiders. They have a bit too many legs to be spiders.
Are they edible?
I've heard of them, but I've never encountered them before.
Do
Are
I
they
know
edible?
anything about Stage of the Wild Space all with that 10 versus
No.
11 int?
No.
Okay.
I mean, you've heard of Sages of Wild Space, but nothing concrete.
I'm thinking next time we have to investigate a small cluster of asteroids very close together. It might be worth firing a bag of fire, a bag of flour.
Flower. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
looking at
So
my,
it's sharper web.
We've also
yeah.
got those things of Greek fire in that chest.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
want
so I
some
didn't mean fire. I meant
Expensive, though.
I didn't mean fire.
Leva sends Tane to see whether these spider things are edible for him.
If it was desperate.
He is uninterested in these things. They're kind of gross smelling.
Okay.
It's like monster versus game meat. They're completely different, I'd assume.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're a perfectly natural arthropod species, but they're
Isn't it decapod?
Protein.
arthropod.
They're
Would it-
definitely not snow crabs.
It's like saying to any of us can eat rodent. We're not particularly happy about it, but we can do it.
Well, if
There's
you were
nothing
stuck,
wrong with rodent.
Yeah, well. It's culture thing.
if
Yeah,
you were
it's a
stuck in
culture
a
thing.
survival situation, you definitely eat rodent.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And you
Anyway.
probably like it.
Insects.
I mean,
Well,
again,
we-
most like crab-like creatures, you would boil them or steam them or something like that. So, you haven't
Sushi.
exactly done that
Sushi.
with these.
Sushi, sashimi.
Not usually crabs, though, right? Anyway, so this cave, we'll need to go in like we're expecting something, considering.
Yes, I tell what's his name, Nogrish, to stay in the back as we sort of enter the cave.
And
I
Ockar,
shall
could
lead
you
the
put your
way.
armor on if you haven't already?
My armor was on because I had on when we got into the fight.
Okay, excellent.
So I will lead the way. Should I have a torch or something if it's dark?
It is dark. You can have a torch if you want.
Braxton to get his special lantern.
Yeah, I'll have it. Actually, yeah, we'll use the lantern.
Okay.
A lantern with continual flame on it.
So I
Or
can
like-
so I can just have my sword sealed. So
I
we'll have the lantern out.
Lafdul wants to mention that he has no healing magic. He's only got a scroll, so if you want to divvy up whatever healing you've got between yourselves, if you want to make sure you know what we've actually got, if we do end up fighting someone.
I'm sure we'll be fine.
Does our lady, other Spelljammer, happen to have any spells where she can make those temporary healing potion things?
She's got one healing potion currently available. She's been
I
on the helm,
propose
so.
Mhm.
I propose we scout out the cave enough to see if there's anything hostile in it. And
I
if
have-
there is, we just back off.
Leva has 2 more applications of the ointment.
Braxon, could you take that temporary healing pot?
I have one. I have one healing potion of healing on me.
Does someone else want to take the ointment?
I'm good.
Just hold on to it.
Just hold on to it. It's extremely valuable as an anti-poison, really.
Mm-hmm.
I also have the potion of superheroism.
Healing pot.
Temporary one.
Do we know exactly what the potion of clairvoyance would give us? Does it give us actual being able to look into the future for a little bit?
Not the future.
No.
And I
You
believe
could
you,
look
have
into
to
the cave, I
know.
assume.
I believe you have to know the location that you're trying to see.
It's like a scrying spell.
Yeah, but we know that, don't we? We can look into the cave. We want to look into the cave.
Oh, hindsight. Not hindsight. In that case, wouldn't our guest that's already been inside here be able to use it technically?
It's been many years, so he might be able to, but let me double check to see how well you have to know the location. I mean, generally, I would say that if you'd just seen it like the other day, that's good enough. But let's see. The location must be known, familiar, or obvious, and light is a factor.
I would think the
Oh,
cave is
okay.
obvious, isn't it?
Does he have dark sight?
No,
Some
he does not.
description.
And no, he does not.
No.
Well, okay.
All right, well, then we should we'll have to go in the cave. I don't think there's anything that I've got. I'm gonna be taking. Let me see what quiver I want to take.
We didn't have the time to get our spells back, right?
No. We're
Uh,
going in.
Real quick, so Braxon mentioned scouting. Do we want to have somebody? Would somebody be willing to scout?
I can scout if you want me to look for traps, but it's if no one's been here,
All right.
that's one of the assumption we're going under. But there could be natural traps, like more spiders or something. There's nothing to
Okay.
stop them from laying up traps.
Gotcha. Then probably the best bet would be to go forward together as a group.
Okay.
Yep.
With Lafdul, if you would please try to keep an eye out for some traps along the way.
I will do.
Yeldan
that.
too.
Party wishes.
All right. Shall we head then?
Mhm.
Yep.
All right, let's get going.
I really want to get rid of this studded leather.
Okay, so the cavern mouth is about 20 feet wide, and it goes into the side of this asteroid. It's a fairly large asteroid, and the cave kind of slopes down and curves a bit. So it seems like you're going down into the cave. You actually sit down on top of it, and there was kind of a ridge there that the cave was in. And let's see.
There's
So
not any
is it
teeth on the
like
outside
where
edge,
we-
is there?
No.
Okay.
How
Is it
wide
like-
is?
Go on.
How wide is?
I was I was only going to ask how wide is the cavern as we walk down? How many people can line up to fight something if we had to?
It's 20 feet wide, so you could certainly
Oh.
get 4 people abreast easily.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Is-
And it's fairly uniform in width.
Is it a clear, shallow slope, or does it look like we might need to use ropes to get down?
As you're going in, it's pretty clear and pretty smooth, not like slippery or anything like that. It looks like it's been cleared, not necessarily worked, just kind of smoothed over either with long-term use or just some very basic work to clear debris and rubble and stuff like that.
On that mention, Braxon looking around, Lafdul looks to Yeldan, and do you think there's any tracks around here? Could you check for?
Well,
someone's
certainly.
Been here before us.
Tracking.
You do not find any tracks. There doesn't seem to be, it's bare stone, and there isn't even dust, which you find a little bit surprising.
There's nothing to find tracks on in here. I'll
No
just
dust
say.
or anything?
No.
Huh.
Whatever our friend here is expecting, he keeps the place clean, I guess.
Housekeeping. Huh. Interesting.
Those spiders have got to, or whatever they were, got to eat something. There's got to be something else on here, around here, I assume.
Braxton's going to lick a
Spiders.
finger and rub the walls to see if there's dirt or if the walls are clean.
The walls are clean.
Walls are clean too. What's the ceiling
down?
look like?
Or nothing?
Can we reach the ceiling?
You can't reach the ceiling. It's about 20 feet high.
Can we just keep going?
It's suspiciously clean.
You do see some
Someone-
some like soot on the ceiling, so it's pretty clear that some people at some point have been through here with torches.
What's that air like in here? I know it's flavor, but it's not stagnant.
It's important.
Because we're going inside a cave, and well, the cave's wide enough; it should be fine.
All right. Shall we move on?
Yes.
Okay. You make your way down the cave, and it's clear. You can tell that it curves around, but you don't see anything. After about 500 feet, you come to what is pretty clearly a large stone portal of some kind. It's closed, and there is a brass gong next to it with a hammer to bang on it, and there's a sign above it written in common.
What's it say? Well, I can't read. I'll look over to somebody that can read. Leva,
I can.
what's it say?
I read the sign, and it says,
The sign says, "Strike no more than once."
I'll look
think
over
this
to
is-
Nogrish. Is this something you expected?
Yes, it is, and I would advise that we do what it says.
I will ring the gong once.
Okay. It echoes through the cave, and
I
then
assume you
it's-
want to. I'll look at Nogress after this is done. I assume you want to go in there by yourself.
Oh no! You can all come in as well. That is absolutely fine.
Oh, okay.
Since the cave is clear, I would like to ask if some of your crew could bring down the crate that I had loaded in.
Sure, I'll go
yes.
tell them to bring it in. As I go to head back to the ship.
Okay. After the gong is rung, and the reverberations and the echoes quiet down, it is just quiet other than the sound of you. Nogrish turns to you and says, "We may have to wait a little while."
Oh, why is that?
The
Could be
fall,
sleeping or something.
The fall works on his own time. He will see us when he sees us. But he knows we are here now.
Oh, what?
Oh, it's one of those.
I'd be
Okay.
so tempted to ring it more than once.
I'll look at Lava. Do you really want to piss off something that old? Or whatever this is, that we have no idea what the hell it is?
I'll look over Norgrish. So what do these things look like?
He looks to you and says simply, "A giant slug."
A giant slug?
Okay.
Maybe why the walls are clean.
Higgimus, you might want to put your shields away.
Why?
So how long does it take me to go to the ship, get some crew, and have them carry back the box with me?
When
It
does
takes about a
slugs
half
you
an
got
hour
the shield from?
total.
And
Yeah,
it's
from
probably
snails.
the...
Snails.
I couldn't hear you, Ald.
It takes you about a half an hour.
Okay, so we'll be back in a little bit.
Slugs are snails that practice naturism.
The slugs do not
Nudist.
something... Oh, I get it now.
Slugs are just homeless snails.
Nudist snails.
I'll check my pouch to make sure I still have some salt in there.
They're like hermit crabs.
You need a
Before
lot
they
more
can
salt
dig
than
out.
that. Get a canvas sack of it.
No, Chris. How long have you waited in the past for Is it the Fowl? Is it Mr. Fowl?
Its name is Septus Octus Unus. Last time I was here, I actually had to wait a day.
Oh boy. Alright.
What happens if you ring the gong twice?
Probably gets annoyed.
He
Level
looks at you and
Septus.
says, "I don't know, and I am not willing to try it."
What a pity.
I'd rather not piss off some creature that's wise, because it's probably a spellcaster of some sort that can cast a hell of a lot more spells than you
Can it use magic?
What I was going to say is if we might be waiting a while, perhaps we could rest or prepare some food or something.
Yes.
Lafdul's got some cards.
I don't even know. I just put... Yeldan's gonna roll his eyes, and he's just gonna...
Passing time, there's nothing nefarious.
Lever will rest, sleep.
He's rolling
She wants
his
her spell
eyes at
back.
cards.
He wants his
'cause-
spells back.
Wow.
So it's a slug, huh?
Indeed.
And I'll look over to Braxon. Think that's probably why the walls are pretty clean?
Maybe.
Maybe
Yeah, I
also-
was wondering if it was one of those oozes, but I guess the slug might do that.
Wait, you mean a gelatinous cube?
That's the one.
I've heard of those. They don't sound fun.
Okay, so after about a half an hour, Ockar and the crew bring the crate back down and set it there. Some of the crew wait to help carry it, assumingly in whenever you guys are allowed in. And
I'm gonna say that it's gonna take a while to them.
surprisingly enough, it's only about another half an hour before there is an extremely loud grinding and scraping sound as the portal slowly slides to the side.
That was fast, considering what we heard.
So
All right.
within is a surprisingly well-lit room. It is quite large. It's roundish, not like regular. It's clearly, a cavern, still a cavern room, but to your surprise, there's a raised section to one side that has humanoid-sized chairs, which look rather comfortable, a table, and covering the walls are bookshelves, like everything, you know, from floor to ceiling, there are books everywhere.
It's a candy shop for you there,
Wow.
Leva.
Mm-hmm.
Does me no good.
There are almost no sharp edges in the room. Nogrish turns to you and says, well, we may enter. This is the reception chamber. We can make ourselves comfortable, and the Fall will see us when he decides to do so.
So Leva looks at the library.
Okay,
Right.
sure.
What type of books are there?
There are books upon books upon books. I mean, there are also maps covering, you know, there are bare spots on the wall with no shelves that have maps. There are tapestries, but mostly maps. Just the books that you can see right away. You see a variety of topics. You can't tell, you know, there doesn't appear to be a rhyme or reason as far as you can tell as to how they're ordered. And there's a lot of books in languages that you don't recognize.
Okay.
I'll ask the crew to bring the crate in, and then after I'm sure that's secure, I'll take a look at the maps and tapestries.
Okay.
Because the books do
Yeah.
no good.
Leva goes through the books.
So there's any elven books. I'll read an elven book.
There are definitely elven books.
I'll be
Are there
interested
books
in
on,
any books about Niyagi and specifically Niyagi cults, maybe.
It would take a while to actually like find them. Again, there does not appear to be a rhyme or reason. You find a book on the mathematical nature of snail shells right next to a book on the history of Mithranor.
Do I find a book?
I pick up that book. I'm like, didn't expect to find a book about this here. Put it back where I found it.
Could I
I'm
find a
assuming
book?
that one's in Elvish, the one about Mithranor.
What were you asking?
Could I
Leva?
find a book? Sorry?
What were you asking?
Whether I could find a book about alchemy.
You can take some time to try and look for one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I might as well. I'm looking for my Niyagi book because I might as well, since apparently we're going to be waiting a while.
Braxon's going to look to see if any of the tapestries have got ships on them.
No, they don't.
Oh, there's no tapestry of a legendary ship that disappeared long ago.
I wasn't
Leva,
thinking of that.
sorry. Leva does offer to the others if they need some stuff read out to them that she can do that. But mainly she's looking for a book about alchemy, so she can further her knowledge a little bit.
No, but at some point in time, Leva, could you teach me how to read?
Yes,
Yeah.
no problem. No problem.
I should really learn how to read. There must be some books about ships here.
You actually don't have a whole lot of time to look because within about 10 minutes, a very large slug-like creature floats in.
Floats.
It floats in. Yep.
Wait, you mean like... Is it floating like that one guy from Dune?
Does it have lips?
It does.
Like it has two mouths.
Yep. So
That is very
it is a large, very large. It's a good 40 feet long, and you see a large central maw filled with teeth. But up above it is an almost human-like mouth, a humanoid mouth, and there are two eye stalks on either side of its head with bulbous eyes.
Well, I
Braxon?
put down whatever book I picked out, trying to see if I could find one, and be like, "Oh, that was not nearly as long as I was told to be. It would be."
Brax is going to bend down a bit to see if he can see how high the fowl's flying off the floor.
It's just a couple feet.
He's going to go, wow, that's an impressive trick.
I'll look over to Nogrish and be like, Nogrish, this is the person you wanted to meet?
Before you can do that, the fall says to you, well, its eyes kind of like scan over you and then sets on Nogrush, and it says, waters under the moon, you've returned, and brought different friends this time. I see they are better behaved than the last group. I take it you are here for the information you asked for last time. And Nogrush responds with a bit of a bow. Indeed, I am back after 7 years as you requested. He then turns back to you and says, this is, as I mentioned, Septus Octus Unus.
Greetings, Septus Octus Unus. Pleasure to meet you. I am Lance Corporal Higgimus of the company The Broken Sword, and with me, and I'll start going down the line, introducing everybody.
Its head seems to nod a little bit, and as it's one of its eyes, focuses on you, and then looks at each one as you introduce them.
Mm-hmm.
Then it
Braxon nods at him.
Did you have something that you wanted to say, Yeldan?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeldan's just like looking at him like
Might be
not
considered
quite
rude.
what I was expecting. He's not staring. He's trying not to stare, at least, anyways.
Well, Levi is
This is
staring.
clearly a strange evolution of something. He long ago disregarded what he considered normal when he came to when he came to wild space.
Levi is staring.
After
Braxon's really impressed with him flying.
after the introduction, the fall turns an eye stalk back to Nogrush and says, yes, let me see where I put that information. It rears up a bit, like you see in the picture, still floating, and you can see that the eye stalks are scanning over all of the bookshelves on the walls. After about 5-10 minutes, its eye stalks kind of stop at one point on a shelf that's a good 30 feet up in the air at this point. And a book actually floats out of the shelf and comes down to rest right in front of Nogrush. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It rests in front of it. And again, still floating, and as far as you can tell, without any interaction from the fall itself. Yep.
Because Lafdul's got access to the Skull of Thought, would he be able to know if that's telepathy?
The creature is not speaking to you with telepathy. It's that smaller
No,
mouth.
but would he know that he's using some form of telepathy? I mean,
That's not telepathy. That's
Oh,
telekinesis.
yeah. That.
It's probably psionics, which is completely different.
You don't know.
It might not be.
I wouldn't know that.
There's spells that do.
Yeah, there's a lot of spells that do a variety of things.
Yes, but he doesn't have any arms to do any gestures, which
But
most spellcasting requires.
yeah, but not everything.
Mm-hmm.
Just out of game for a second. Zixchill, not Zixchill. Ixitzachinal are very accomplished spellcasters, and they have no arms. So the book starts, it opens up and pages start flipping in front of it. And then the fall says, still focused on the book, here it is. This is indeed what you asked for. This comes from the Gondling Da. Are you familiar with the Gondling La? They are lovely individuals to talk to, although they can be quite long-winded and take a long time to get to a point, unlike us Falmadaratha. Anyway, as I was saying, this comes from Sunset Dappled Waves, accompanied by melodies in F minor, who I do believe learned it from the Stellar Dragon. I need to come up with better names. Some of these are harder to pronounce than I
That's
thought
a
they
weird
would be.
name for a stellar dragon.
Yeah.
What did he call it?
No, this
Use
comes
a
from the
name
Stellar
generator.
Dragon, Yorgana Shuckles.
What?
Exactly.
Okay.
It sounds very strange to your ears.
Do you want me to generate a better name?
No, nope.
That's the
Take
name
away
that the
fun.
adventure I think that's the name that the adventure gave him.
As she was traveling in the Phlogiston off the normal space lines, I think it was a century and a half ago, she caught sight of the remains of a ship that I have confirmed as being an appropriate design. It was drifting, but there was an apparently stable rogue planetoid in the vicinity which may serve as a marker. I have a chart here that you can use to find the location.
I see where this is going already. Yeldan's not gonna say anything yet.
With that, a large scroll, you recognize the size, Higgimus at least does, recognizes the size as being an appropriate star chart. And it floats down to Nogrish. And he takes it out of the air. Then the Fall closes the book, and it then hovers and floats over to Nogrish, who takes it as well.
Okay.
I've detailed a number of other leads I've come across in this book, but the one I mentioned is by far the closest and most recent. Nogrish then says, I thank you for the information that I requested. I have brought a gift. He points to the crate. It's a variety of teas and spices. I hope you find them pleasing. The eye stalks on the Fall quickly swivel towards the crate, and you can tell a delighted. There's a delighted tone to its voice. Oh, I am very looking forward to this. And the crate then floats up and floats towards the back of the room, towards where the Fall came in.
Okay.
He then turns back to the party and says, if there is nothing else, I believe I have provided the information you requested.
Yeah.
If we'd have known you like tea, we just had some interesting tea.
Oh god.
No.
Lafdul chuckles out loud.
Yeldan's like,
No,
you know
why
what?
not?
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm
Why
just
not?
gonna start leaving. Yeldan's just leaving now.
Lafdul's delighted at the idea.
Have you got any of that tea left, Lever?
I didn't
Actually, I do.
You do?
I do.
I certainly have the Willowbark tea.
I have the Willowbark tea, and I have a little bit of the other tea as well.
Yeah, well, let's offer it to them, to whoever whoever it is.
Okay. And I'll turn my head over to oh my goodness, what was his name? Sept.
You can just say the Fall. Septus Octus Unus.
Septus
Octus
Octus Unus. We came across some tea. Perhaps you might like some. It's of Shao make.
Oh, indeed. I am always interested in trying new teas.
And I'll pull out the little baggies that I have with the stuff.
You carry them with you?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
I carried the tea too.
Okay.
Virtually weightless.
I offer the Willowbark tea to it if it wants.
That might be insulting.
I don't know. It's a tea.
It's
It
How can tea
various
be
bark
insulting?
teas.
you
It's
Quite foul.
you take it out and offer it, and you feel a slight tugging on what you're holding.
I let go when I feel the tug. And when he's grabbing it, or levitating it, or whatever the hell he's doing, I'll ask him. So you provide information about all sorts of things?
Indeed, I do.
Do you have a normal going rate for this information?
Going rate? No.
Do you sell it?
I have no need to sell. Information is freely given.
Do you trade information like the Seekers on Brow?
If you have information for me, I would be more than happy to add it to my collection, but that is not necessary.
Huh.
Leva speaks up and says, "I'd like to stay. If you are amenable to it, I'd like to stay for a day or two, and we might be able to exchange some information."
Oh, I am quite busy. I can certainly answer some questions, and if I need to research, I can tell you when I will be likely to finish up the necessary research, and then you can return for it, as your friend Nogrish here did.
What type of information do you will you part with?
What information are you interested in?
I'm looking for my parents.
Well, that may take some time. I would certainly need more information about you, but I can do the research.
Mm-hmm. And now we find out that I completely forgot everything you said that Leva should know about her birth parents.
Well, that's okay. You could, I wouldn't expect you to, to a certain extent, repeating all that information would kind of bog down.
Well, Leva certainly would remember that information. It's out of character me,
right,
who's forgotten everything you ever told me about.
Exactly. But is that what you want the Fall to do, to do some research for you on that?
Well, it is what Leva would want it to do.
Okay.
Once she realizes that it might find information about her birth parents, then yes, most definitely she would want it to look it up. And she'd tell it everything she was told herself, because that's, despite all the adventures and everything, that's a problem that she wants to solve. Either her birth parents or, Thoriax's home planet.
Well, such research often will require a considerable amount of time.
7 years later.
Oddly enough, that's what I rolled, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Unfortunately, if it were a bit more, if I had a bit more to go on, I would be able to do it in a bit faster time. Unfortunately, this would take me a number of years to research. I will, of course, have to speak with stellar dragons, Gunling Da, others of that nature.
Would you be willing, if I learn anything more, could I come and pass it on to you?
Indeed, you could, but I am unsure that there is much that you would find out that I cannot.
Okay. And what would you like in exchange?
I need nothing. If you care to share some gifts as Nogrish did, or share information, I would be more than happy to take it, but I do not do this for a fee.
Okay.
If you are interested, then return 7 years hence, and I will let you know what I have discovered.
Yep, let's do it. 7
You're
years.
an elf.
7 years isn't that much time for an elf, so...
Yep,
Yeah.
indeed. Yeldan already has as much information he thinks he's ever gonna need, so he's not gonna ask about his.
Well, you'd already left anyway.
Yeah, I know. Because of the whole tea debacle, he's just annoyed by it. But even if he was given the opportunity, he wouldn't ask for more.
Alright, so
You already
make a note. Keep in mind that travel through wild space and the phlogiston does tend to make time pass pretty quickly. So 7 years may seem like a long time right now, but it may come up faster than you expect.
Well, it's perfectly reasonable for Leva to think about 7 years. I mean, she waited 10 years, or I think 10 years before she even moved after her past owner actually died. So 7 years is nothing.
Okay.
Peanuts.
What do you mean time travels faster in the phlogiston? You mean like?
No,
You've
it's
been
just
there
that
for a month?
it's that if nothing happens on a trip that takes a month and a half, then it's literally a case of, okay, a month and a half passes, you're in the new crystal sphere.
What's his name? Septus, Octus?
Unus.
Or if somebody makes a suit of armor.
Yeah.
That's that's cheating, you know, Septus,
But
Octus,
we can't
Unus.
do that in the phlogiston because it's flammable.
What do you mean that's cheating?
It just means 781.
Yeah.
So,
You don't know what the you don't know what kind of names these guys have.
Okay. I don't know anything. Leva says, what the your name? And Septus Octus Unus. Okay.
Yeah.
7 years.
Hey, look, the only other named foul in all of Spelljammer literally has a name that is like 197 or something like that. I can't remember exactly what the number is.
I thought it was 159.
Well, okay, 159. I couldn't remember exactly which one it is, but it's literally a number.
So Braxon says to.
Does that mean there's one named 42, by the way?
There is one canonically named foul. I decided to go with something a little bit different for the name.
It's K47.
So anyway.
Anyways.
Braxon says to Septus Octus Unus, I'd love to share some information with you, but you've got loads of books. I don't know if there's anything that I know that you don't know. Do you have any interest in carpentry? I've been learning how to make spelljamming ships.
It gives a chuckle. I am sure I have a number of bookshelves on carpentry around here somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
I do have something.
We saw an unusual ship, a metal ship shaped like a scaver. Would you be interested in that?
Can you provide me with detailed construction plans?
We know the gnomes that built it.
I mean, can you provide me with detailed construction plans right now?
No, not right now.
But we can ask the gnomes to come by and give them to you.
I value my privacy.
Okay.
I do have an actual question. Ald, which one of the star charts was it that the Seekers were really interested in?
Let's see. The one you got from the puzzle boxes.
All right. So I'll pull out my scroll case and pull out those star charts, and I'll say the Seekers were very interested in information about this area here. I was wondering if you might have any more information about it, since you seem traveled.
Oh, no, I do not actually travel. I have a network of colleagues who do traveling. But I may be able to investigate this for you if you'd like.
How How long do you think it might take you?
3 years.
I'll say because
I'm sure I could have some information for you if you came back in 10 months.
10 months. I could probably do 10 months. Okay.
10 months.
Okay. He takes the chart from you. Let me make notes of these. All right. Is there anything else anyone wants to ask him?
Are there any books you're looking for? If I see anything on my travels,
he
there
slowly
anything-
starts rattling off a variety of book titles. About 75% of them are in languages that you don't understand. And he quickly sees that there's a blank expression on your face and says, "Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's unnecessary."
okay.
Not one particular book.
Yeah, I'm afraid I only speak Common, Elven, Tinker, Gnome, and Dwarven.
No, I have my colleagues who travel a lot. Oftentimes bring me books or leads on books. There are far too many for me to make such a request at this time. Now, certainly, when you return for the information that you've requested, if you have found some unusual books, I would be more than interested in taking a look at them.
Okay.
Remember to hold
Yeah,
some
if I've got
books
any
back.
unusual books, get any unusual books, I'll let you have a look at it.
All right. Does
Probably
anybody
got.
else?
You've
Does
probably
anybody else
got
have-
them already. I mean, that's more books than I've seen in my entire life.
It gives a slow chuckle. Yeah, just the books in this room, they're probably at least equivalent to what's in the Seeker's library back on Brawl.
That's what I was thinking. I was going to ask, is it about the same as the Seeker's library? Because I would imagine they have just as much as not. They might not have nearly as. He probably has more than they do.
Yeah, this is just this room.
I've had a thought. Have you had any dealings with the Seekers?
Oh, indeed. I have
we've
regular
got
contact with them.
we've got a helmsman who's a member of the Seekers. He's not a very high up member at the moment, but perhaps the Seekers could negotiate some sort of book copying agreement.
Oh, I have deals with them. We converse on occasion. I have no need to speak with your companion.
Okay.
If I may ask, how old are you?
His eyes swivel to you, and he says, 1,453 years old.
So
And-
around the age of some elves.
Far older than most elves.
I said some, not most.
No, I mean, elves usually leave this plane of existence well before that.
I thought they at least get to 1,000.
They can, I mean, with like life extending magics and stuff like that, but you're not too likely, I mean, to ever encounter an elf, even if you went looking for one that old, to ever actually encounter one. I mean, this is older than most dragons.
Let's just say there's only one elf that I know of, and this is out of character, in canonical lore that is literally a millennium old. And she is one evil son of a bitch.
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about, what is it? Matron Baron of House Baron in Menzel Baronson, leader of all the Drow in the main city of Drow.
Drow don't
I'm
usually live
sure
as long as others.
I'm sure she is not the son.
Anyway, Was there a follow-up question that you wanted to ask, Leva?
Yes. How old can you expect to get to live?
Oh, I am. It varies. We tend to live in excess of 2 millennia.
Oh, so you are middle-aged.
Something like that.
Thank you.
Oh god, can we just...
All right. So, do we have any more questions? Is there anything else you need here, Nogrish?
No, I just need to study this information.
All right. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you.
Shakes his head.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Octum. Yes,
He
thank you very
chuckles-
much.
He chuckles at your attempt at his name, but he leaves it.
Oh,
Thank you,
actually,
sir.
I do have
Oh,
a question.
yes.
Well, actually, a question. Yes. I've just been asked by one of my friends whether I could teach them how to read, and I was wondering whether you had a book that would help in that.
My ear tufts kind of pat against my
Yeah.
head.
I wouldn't mind reading either. I mean, look at all
Wouldn't
these
it be
books.
a better reference to have multiple people who can speak the language to cover up from each other's mistakes? Be a better example to learn from.
Just
My
imagine.
recommendation is to teach him the way you learned. Get a good slate and some chalk and practice.
Okay.
So the
Yeah, I'd
boring
love to.
way.
I'd love to learn to read as well. I mean, look at all these books. Just imagine what you could learn from these books.
Actually, thinking back, we had a book, big letters in it, 1 letter per page.
Luckily, the temple taught me how to read.
Well, if
All
there
right.
is nothing else, I do need to get back to my research.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
for your time, Septus Octosunus. And I'm very impressed by that flying.
It gives a low chuckle as you leave. As soon as you're out of the chamber, the stone slab slides back into place and covers up the entrance, and it's back to darkness again.
All right. Shall we go?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Mm,
What
Imagine that.
does Nogus say?
He said that the best lead for what I'm looking for is out in the Phlogiston near here. If you would be interested in continuing your service, I would be more than happy to continue paying if you're interested in searching for this shipwreckage that he mentioned.
What exactly in the shipwreck
Yel-
are you looking for?
Yeldan, who was waiting outside the room, thought so.
was
I
inevitable.
don't exactly know. What I'm looking for is... Are you familiar with the history of my people?
No, I'm
We barely
afraid
even
not.
know what you are. We've heard of what was it?
Herwady.
Not the. Oh wait, we're talking to the Herway guy,
Yeah.
not the weird slug guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know much about Herwady at all.
Well, what you guys do know, certainly, I mean, those of you with a wild space background know that they once had a large ancient empire that collapsed. And so now they're kind of semi-nomadic people who... They have tribes, and members of the tribe hire themselves out as crew to increase the wealth of their tribes. But they're semi-nomadic. They tend to move about frequently. Tribes will generally have like a ship or a couple ships of their own, and the young members go off and hire on as crew on other ships to bring wealth back to the tribe.